What is good, R&B squad? This is Heart of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you're new here, we don't believe that you're here by accident. We're happy to have you. Welcome, and Jesus is even happier. So some of you guys would have seen me put out a word in the community post about the Proverbs 31 women replacing the Vashtis and replacing the Michals and the Jezebels. So there's a whole word to accompany that, and that's what I'm going to put out right now. For those of you whom this is for, you're going to know because the Lord has already been placing this on your heart. He's already been speaking to your spirit about this, okay? So to begin, I am going to read a bit of Proverbs chapter 31 for you guys. Not the whole thing, just the part about the wife of noble character. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Let me just pause there. Ladies. A lot of us want to claim the title of Proverbs 31 woman because we want the spiritual clout that goes with it. But not everyone is willing to put in the work required to become a Proverbs 31 woman. One thing about the Proverbs 31 woman, she bears the fruit of the Spirit, okay? And there was a sister in Christ who posted about that recently. Last night, I think she posted about that. And I commented and I said, sis, the Lord is speaking. This is confirmation because the Lord has been speaking to me about the same thing. There are many women in this time who want the clout, the spiritual clout of being a Proverbs 31 woman. They want the title because it sounds good, but they're not willing to put in the work. Okay? And you don't become a Proverbs 31 woman after you're married. You're supposed to be one. You're supposed to be bearing the fruit of the Spirit before you're married. And this is why so many marriages run into problems, because people rush ahead of God. They don't allow God to prepare them. They don't allow God to prune them. And then there are some of you, not all of you. I'd like to think that anybody who is in this family and under this ministry, I'd like to think that we're past that, all right? But there are some persons, they don't want to put in the work. They want the title, but they want to get there by taking the shortcut. They don't want to do the work. Their heart itself is stubborn. They don't want the instruction. They don't want the pruning. They don't want to bear the fruit of the Spirit, but they want the title. We're going to get to that in a moment. All right? Let me continue. Oh, and by the way, before I continue, if you have a man in your life right now, whether you're married or it's someone that you're dating that you want to be married to, if you are doing that man harm, you are not a Proverbs 31 woman. And when I say doing him harm, I mean if you're cussing him out, if you're belittling him, if you wake up in the morning thinking evil thoughts toward him, if you do little things deliberately to try to piss him off because you're not happy, so you don't want him to be happy either, if you're bad-mouthing him to other people, if you're doing anything to cause this man harm, if you're putting your hands on him, because there are some women who do abuse men physically, if you're putting your hands on him, you are not a Proverbs 31 woman. Far from it. Because the Bible clearly states, this chapter of Proverbs clearly states that the Proverbs 31 woman does not do her husband harm. So there is that. I don't know who that is for, but I'm just putting that out there. The Lord placed it on my spirit, so I'm putting it out there. All right? Let's continue. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for the bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Let me pause there. So the Proverbs 31 woman, another important quality that this woman is supposed to have is that not only does she provide for her household, but she also gives to those in need. So there is that. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction are on her tongue. Let me say that again louder for the people in the back. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. So what is coming out of your mouth? Sis, if what is coming out of your mouth is not constructive, if what is coming out of your mouth does not build and not break, if what is coming out of your mouth is deceit, it is gossip, it is insults, you are not yet a Proverbs 31 woman. You need to have the Lord work on you. Because the Proverbs 31 woman, she speaks with wisdom and wise instruction. Okay, so there's that. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So that's another important thing. The Proverbs 31 woman has the fear of the Lord upon her. That is what makes her the woman she is. That is at the center of everything about who she is. Who she is centered upon the fact that she has the fear of the Lord in her. Okay? You don't have the fear of the Lord in you if you're a witch. I just had to say that. That should go without saying, but I just had to say it. You don't have the fear of the Lord in you if you're out here dabbling in black magic. Because if you understood the fear of the Lord, you would not be doing something like that. So the minute you're engaging in witchcraft and black magic, you are not a Proverbs 31 woman. Please don't claim that title if you're dabbling in witchcraft. Ask the Lord to cleanse you from that before you can get to the level of the Proverbs 31 woman. Just putting that out there. Again, I'm just a messenger. I have to give it to you guys the way the Lord gave it to me. All right? Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. So there is that. The Lord is saying to some of you that you have done the work. You have done the work required to become a Proverbs 31 woman, and he is saying to you that because you have allowed him to prune you, because you have allowed him to do the work, because you have allowed him to transform your heart, you are now that Proverbs 31 woman. You no longer need to wait to become one. Now is the time for you and your husband to come into union, because you are prepared to do that man good and not harm all the days of his life. You do not eat the bread of idleness. You work hard for what is yours. You're not out here trying to hop on other people's backs to get to where you need to be. Everything that you have, the Lord blessed you with it because you worked hard for it. All right? You're out here taking care of your business, handling yourself. Not just that, but when you speak to others and you give them a reason to feel like they can keep going. You edify with your words. You build up with your words. You do not tear down. And this is why the Lord is saying that you are ready. Sis, you are ready. He's saying to some of you whom this word is for, you are ready. You are a Proverbs 31 woman. You're the Proverbs 31 woman personified. All right? So there is that. The Lord is saying on the flip side of that, there are some who refuse to do the work, but they want the title. So this is the witches. This is those who are dabbling in witchcraft. This is those who are manipulative. The ones who try to get things by trickery, by crooked means. They want the title of the Proverbs 31 woman, but they don't want to put in the work. They think they can trick God into getting there. The Lord is saying, no, I see your heart. I see your heart. And because I see your heart and I see that you're stubborn and you don't want to do the work and you want to take the shortcut, you are going to be replaced. You're going to be replaced and superseded by a true Proverbs 31 woman. All right. And the Lord took me to 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 19, and it reads, "They rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord. Then they went back to their house at Ramah, and Elkanah knew Hannah, his wife, and the Lord remembered her." Then he took me to Genesis chapter 21, verse 1, and it reads, "The Lord graciously remembered and visited Sarah, as he had said, and the Lord did for her as he had promised." So the Lord is saying, you are getting ready to laugh, woman of God. Those of you who have done the work, those of you who have honestly put in the effort and have allowed the Lord to prune you, no matter how uncomfortable it was, because pruning ain't easy. I'm speaking from experience. Pruning is not, when the Lord starts to prune you, ooh, child, it is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart. But you come out refined. You've been tested and tried. You've been put through the fire and you came out refined. All right. The Lord is saying that for some of you, there are some Peninnahs in your life. There are some, what was that woman? Hagar. There are some Hagars in your life. There are some Leahs in your life. There are some Jezebels in your life. There are some people who might be, they don't want to do the work, but they're envious of the fact that you are bearing fruit. So they're trying to pull you down. They want to see how they could pull you down. They want to talk you down. They want to say bad things about you. The Lord is saying that he is about to put those Peninnahs and those Hagars and those Leahs and those Jezebels in their place. All right. He is saying that he is going to let them know that his favor is upon you. And there's about to be rejoicing and laughter in your life because he remembered you, woman of God. Okay? And the Lord is also saying that he is going to perform the duty of an army scout. Now, if you guys understand what an army scout is, let me explain a little bit about that to you. An army scout is someone who is sent to an area or countryside to find out the position of an enemy. They set off 2 men out in front as scouts, 2 behind in case of any attack from the rear. So this person acts as a lookout. This person sees where the enemy is coming from so they can go back and report to the camp. All right. The Lord is saying that he is going to perform the duty of an army scout in your life right now. Because you see, these Peninnahs and these Hagars and these Jezebels, they have plans. They're planning stuff. They know that the promise is about to happen for you, so they're getting ready to plan to make sure that they can block you, or so they think. The Lord is saying that he's going to act as a scout, an army scout. He's going to be the lookout. So he's going to see them well ahead before they even start coming at you. And because of that, their attacks are not going to work. Okay? And he pointed out to me as well that he led me to Isaiah chapter 29, verse 5. "But suddenly your ruthless enemies will be crushed like the finest of dust. Your many attackers will be driven away like chaff before the wind." Okay? And what the Lord pointed out to me here is that these people, some of these individuals who are getting ready, the ones he's keeping watch for, that are getting ready to try to block your promise, he is saying that he's going to cut them down to size. All right? And to cut someone down to size is to make them realize that they were not as powerful or as important as they thought. God is about to cut those who oppose this union between you and your kingdom spouse down to size. They really think they get to have a say in the way this thing plays off. They honestly think so, but God is about to show them that they never did. They never had a say. It was never up to them. And the Lord took me, it's so funny how the Lord started to give me this word, guys. He used a movie called She's All That. I believe it came out in 1999. And it's a teen movie. It's a teen rom-com. And in the movie, there's this guy. It's about a love triangle between these three high school students. There is this guy. He's the popular guy. He has all these things going for him, but he's a really sweet person in spite of the fact that he's popular. And he has this girlfriend. She's the total opposite of him. She's popular too. She has a lot of friends too, but she treats him like garbage. She has no respect for him, and I think she was even getting ready to cheat on him in the movie. So then this guy meets this other girl, right? And this other girl that he meets is the total opposite of his girlfriend. She's a sweet person. She's kind. She volunteers. She does all sorts of wonderful things. She's just busy working on herself and working on making herself a better human being. And he falls in love with that because not only was she a good person, she was also very beautiful on the outside. And in the movie, you could see her putting in the work to become a better person and also to improve herself overall. So she was trying to improve her talent. She was working on her beauty regimen. She was doing stuff to try to make herself a bit more active when it came to helping people. She was just working on herself. And that goes back to what I said earlier about those of you who you guys have put in the work to become a Proverbs 31 woman, and the Lord is now saying that you are. So this other girl, she is the Proverbs 31 woman of the movie, okay? The other girlfriend, the first girlfriend, realizes this, and she does everything that she can to try to stop this thing from happening between this guy and this girl, because she knows deep down that she doesn't deserve him. Even though she acts like she does, she knows she doesn't. She knows he deserves better. So she does all this stuff. She even tries to have a pageant where she has the girl go up against her, and she tries to rig the voting process and all of these things just to prove that she's the better woman or the better choice for this guy. But in the end, he ends up with the other woman because she's the better person for him. He ends up with the second girl that he met because she's the better person for him, and he sees that ultimately. So the Lord used this movie to drive the point home that the woman who put in the work, the Proverbs 31 woman who put in the work to become Proverbs 31 woman, you are the ones who are now going to take over from these witches and from these Jezebels, from these women who want the title, just like the girl in the movie. She wanted the title of being the girlfriend of the most popular guy at the school, but she wasn't willing to be a good girlfriend to him. She just wanted to just be out here disrespecting him and doing whatever she wanted to do, but she still wanted the title of being the girlfriend of the most popular guy in school. It's the same thing in the situation that I'm talking about, where you guys are going to replace these women. Some of these women who are witches, some of these women who dabble in black magic, some of these women who are just downright disrespectful to the Lord. They do not respect his authority. They want to be given the title of Proverbs 31 women, but they don't want to put in the work. The Lord is saying they're about to be replaced. Just like in the movie where the second girl replaced the first one because she was the better person and she had done the work on herself, it's the same way that you guys, now it's your time to take over. And that's the word. I hope this blessed someone. And I love you guys. I'll be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me.